There you are. Oh, I thought we'd have to do the show without you, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Podcasting will be a thrill. Grandpa and chill, grandson and friends. Podcasting Grandpa and chill will be a thrill, grandson and friends. With your hosts, Grandpa Barton, Brandon Fox, Phines Jackson, and Sierra Dawes. This is Grandpa and Chill.
We're gonna start the podcast off with me saying the sentence. I played a lot of video games, but when I was younger, I did, and being good at those has nothing to do with like being good at the flip side, you know. Like being able to create it is a completely different thing, you know.
Yeah.
Like I'm really good at eating food, but
with being able to program, would you be able to design, let's say, a video game, or is that something altogether different?
I'm learning web development, so I could learn like online gaming stuff, but no, I'm by the end of this, I'm going to be able to build a website.
Ooh, cool. Yeah.
Not a video game.
That's pretty good. That's cool.
What Zohabe does, like
Yeah.
exactly what Zohabe does. So
yeah.
Sierra, the side note, not that we should pull anybody in, but Mythos the bear is in the Zoom call.
That could be. Wait.
Is someone on the clean feed?
Wait. I can figure this out. No, I can't figure this out. That could be Elsa, or that could be Benin, because Benin was just on the clean feed and then he disappeared.
Probably Benin.
Suffering.
I wonder if down the road, when Phines, Sierra, or I are ever in the same room with Rosie, if she would recognize us.
Rosie would know me for sure.
I tell you what, I'm not going into the room with that with Rosie. You will not catch me going in there. I've seen enough.
Yeah,
I have her in a cage right now because she doesn't mean to hurt you, but she does. You know, she bites your neck or whatever, not intentionally to hurt you.
I feel like it's gotten worse. No, like at the first few episodes, she never attacked you.
It just comes and goes. She's not trying to hurt me. She's just trying to be company, but she's a little rough.
Yeah. That's why if you have tigers and you're in the cage with them, you have to like walk. I can't turn your back because they'll think that's like a fun chance to pounce you, but they're like 500 pounds.
Right.
Grandpa, did you watch Tiger King?
I don't believe so.
Oh man, not even heard of it.
It's a cartoon. No.
It's a documentary.
Oh, no, I don't think I did.
Yeah. It came out. Really?
I'm against it.
Why?
Because I like my animals. I don't like people having animals for fun.
No, I think they're more exposing them. Like, they're not saying this is a good thing. Like, the documentary was very much like, this is bad.
I don't know. It's kind of glorifying animals. I mean, glorifying having zoos. What is there's no reason for a tiger even to be in America. What does it need to be? What does it eat here that it needs to be here?
No.
How's it going to survive?
Yeah.
Did you see it, Sierra?
No.
Poor babies.
No, my dad and my sibling did, but I didn't want. They all looked nasty. I didn't want to watch it. They all looked really gross.
They were.
I did watch one episode.
Or the tiger?
The people, every single person that was in the trailer looked nasty. Just what did they say? Just looked scuffed. I did not want to watch that.
Yeah, it was.
I just didn't. I couldn't stand it made me upset. I was like, those poor babies.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like, there should only. I don't even like zoos. Like I feel like zoos should only have animals that are like rescues, and if they tried to go back home, they would just die.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing animals is only for the privileged that can travel. Everyone else, they can look at the internet.
Yeah.
Did you guys happen to see the video of an actual tiger, a lion, and a bear that lived together? They had been brought in. They they weren't well.
Oh my!
Okay.
And they lived together for years.
I'm closing your whole clean.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that.
But they got along. They got along great. I mean, they loved each other. These animals.
Were they raised from birth? Is that how it happened?
No, I think they and I'm not certain about this, but I think they came out of zoos or whatever, and they weren't well, or they were mistreated or whatever, or maybe some sort of circus, whatever animals, and
right behind the camera, there's just a dude with like a little straw, like blowing darts.
And the animals keep them like chilled out, just getting hit them with ketamine. That's terrible.
Yeah, yeah, Grandpa, I'm obsessed with those like cute animal pair books and shows.
What?
Oh man, I bought one like 2 months ago. That's just like, like a duck and a frog, like oddly matched animals that like befriended each other.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cute. Yeah. What's your week been like, Grandpa?
Pretty much the same. I keep busy, around the house, and like today we took a ride up to New Hope, Pennsylvania, just to go out and have a ride, get out of the house. Not a whole lot to do other than, studying a little bit with my camera equipment and trying to keep busy. That's all. Cleaning and taking care of the birds and doing the laundry and, just normal everyday chores.
Yeah. You ever get bored?
I always have pretty much enough to do. I really do keep busy most of the time.
Yeah, you hit that place where it's like you're not really stressed anymore, right? Like you know.
I have, I up and down, like I guess everyone. Everybody has some stress in their life. Yeah.
Or like you don't have to get these documents into your boss or whatever. You know what I mean? Like.
No, I don't have that. I don't have
deadlines
that.
and no.
But there's always things. I'm always thinking about, gee, who do I have to get a gift for this birthday or for this
what a burden.
Holiday or for whatever it is. There's always something to do. Yeah.
I have to do that today for Sonny. I got to figure it out. You remember Sonny, who's been on the show before, Grandpa?
I do recall the name.
Yeah, it's his birthday today.
Yeah. How's Atlanta, Brandon?
I mean, I'm not leaving my house for like stretches of 3 or 4 days at a time, so it's okay. I mean, it's weird. Like I literally like completely new place where I know nobody,
Yeah. Sounds great.
But having
it does sound great.
It does.
Yeah. There's something adventurous about it. I think if it wasn't during a pandemic, it would be like a lot cooler as opposed to isolating. But yeah.
Do you guys keep up at all with the politics that are going on right now, and is it okay to discuss anything? What I'm watching right now is something that to me is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime before, where where they're trying to change the results of an election. But
that thing.
I'm still stuck on that lady that got her house raided the other day.
What? What happened?
Yeah.
This woman who used to work on like the COVID task force in Florida, I think. Florida, probably. She was either fired or she quit her job because they were fudging or changing or hiding the infection results or the infection rates. And so then I think she was hosting her own site where you can like track the infection rates across the state, and they raided her house and took all of her stuff. And like,
who's they?
The government. Was it? I think it was the state. Now I have to find it.
Because she outed them for
the government
doing
put the state police up to it. The government put the state police up to it.
But there's nothing that she did that was illegal. What the government was doing was illegal,
came
right?
At gunpoint, pointed guns at her and her husband and two young children.
She had footage of it, and like they're just like walking in with their guns.
She was doing something good, right? Something just, and then they're
trying to see if she stole data, and they were grabbing her computer and notes and so forth to see if she had taken data from her department.
But like the government of Florida was lying to the public,
so
and
this,
then
I have it. I found the article. So this says they searched the home of former state data scientist Rebecca Jones on Monday, entering her house with weapons drawn as they carried out a warrant as part of an investigation into an unauthorized message that was sent out on a state communication system. It said she was fired in May after she helped create the state's COVID-19 dashboard. She said that she lost her job after she refused requests to manipulate data to suggest that Florida was ready to ease coronavirus restrictions. And a spokesperson for the Florida governor, good old Ron DeSantis, said at the time that she exhibited a repeated course of insubordination during her time with the department. Okay, the search warrant was authorized as investigators tried to learn who sent a chat message to a planning group on an emergency alert platform urging people to speak out publicly about Florida's coronavirus strategies. The message stated, "It's time to speak up before another 17,000 people are dead. You know this is wrong. You don't have to be a part of this. Be a hero. Speak out before it's too late."
And then they raided her and was like,
Jesus.
Yeah,
there's a gun for your face.
You know, and this is, I mean, they identified themselves, but like they broke into her house at like 8:30 in the morning and took all of her electronics.
And they got a warrant?
They did, but I was reading somewhere that a lot of times you can get warrants for
anything.
Well, you can get warrants for anything, but you can also just get warrants for like an IP address.
Oh, wow.
And a judge. Yeah, this says it adds that investigators were able to trace the message to an IP address that's affiliated with Jones's Comcast account. So like you can just get a warrant for an IP address, and you know, that'll take you wherever. Jesus. Without taking into account like, you know, what the location is or where it's at.
Nuts.
No, they pointed guns at the husband and the children.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Threatened them.
That's nuts.
Just crazy. Not surprising, but crazy.
Not pull the trigger, because hopefully no one did, but who said that this was okay? Who's like gave the like, go ahead and do that, y'all?
Their proud governor, Ron DeSantis.
I see.
But
all right.
Yeah, that's so clearly corrupt, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Don't go to Florida.
And now you have other states that are in a lawsuit backing up. I forget which state. I think it's Texas, but I'm not sure. I think Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana, but I'm not sure about that. On a suit to try to get the state legislators to change the results of the election from what the citizens voted for, and change it to the opposite results. And the president of the United States joined in that suit today. It's unbelievable what is going on today. I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime.
Yeah.
The corruption is just unbelievable.
It's really the audacity too. You know, like no disrespect, but it feels like it'd be one thing if we were like didn't have the internet and we weren't like privileged Americans that see everything. It's like if we were like a third world nation that didn't have internet and didn't get to see the TV, or all we heard was one news channel. But this is like kind of really bold of them to be coming at us like this. I mean, it is bold. I'm like, wow, this is like, I don't know. It's just really putting us in our place, I guess. It's just like, hey, I'm going to do this. What you going to do?
Wealth, entitlement, and patriarchy.
Well, my opinion, and maybe I shouldn't say this, on a program like this, but that this administration would destroy the democracy in this country to save their own behind, and that's what I think is going on right now. They will do anything because there's a thing called the statute of limitations for criminal behavior and also civil, and they're trying to avoid being prosecuted by just going beyond the statute of limitations. I think that's what's going on here, among other reasons.
I thought the pardons was enough. Didn't he give his whole family pardons?
They're trying to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, they haven't decided. Well, one, they don't even know if that's literally possible, which means nothing because he says that like literally you could take like almost everything that he's done and be like, you can't even do that, but it happens anyway. So they don't know if they can even legally do it, and so I think he's somehow waiting these last few weeks to see if it's gonna be the same. I don't know why they haven't yet.
No, you hit the nail on the head, Sierra. That's exactly right. They don't think that they don't believe that he can pardon himself,
and it's not gonna save them from any state charges either.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But no one knows for sure. It's debated both ways. Yeah.
Probably gonna try it. Like January.
Oh, absolutely.
Gonna wait and try it anyway.
He's gotten this far. Wow.
But I just think younger people today, I don't know how much you watch the news or whatever, but they're really not aware of just how unbelievably corrupt the government has become. How it's unbelievable.
I mean, at this point, it's just like that's what we know. Like that's what we know. Kind of like I grew up with post Nixon. I grew up with Clinton, and then I had Bush, and then I had Obama, and now I'm here. So like the tomfoolery is just what I don't know any different. I don't know any different than foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Grandpa, you lived through Nixon, right?
I did, and he had a vice president as well who was very corrupt. Corrupt. He was prosecuted.
Is that as bad or worse than now, or no?
I think that Nixon. I would compare Nixon to somebody stealing a candy bar at a convenience store to the mafia.
What about do you think that when Nixon was in presidency and you were how old were you then?
What year was he a president? I forget. Do you know the year?
No.
I was probably, I'm guessing right now. Let's see. Go back. Hold on a second. I'll look it up. Nixon presidency. I forget the year. Depends. I'm sure I was like probably already middle age.
Okay. Do you feel like the people in your age group and the people younger were as politically active as now, or do you think we're less? Do you think we're more? Do you think we're more into politics, the young people now, or back then? Do you think someone of your age was saying the same thing, like, "Hey, I wonder if you kids are looking at Nixon. This is the worst thing ever." And
Well, I think that today the younger people are more politically active than they were back when I was younger.
Well,
I think they're more politically active. Yeah. But, there were different situations over the years, the Vietnam War and things like that, where young people were very active as far as the Vietnam War. But I think that overall today, just a general situation, especially right now, that young people are, and hopefully young people are active.
Yeah. I feel like that's the pros and cons of social media, because like now people, all they see is government, the politics stuff, but it's not always true stuff. But they do see a lot of it.
We're really basically without the weapons, without muskets, we're really basically almost in a civil war today in terms of the politics between the Democrats and the Republicans. It's almost like a civil war.
If you're saying back then was like a candy bar compared to the corruption today, like what do you think has allowed this now, like today, as opposed to?
Well, it looks like
Nixon or
one particular human being that just has unbelievable gall to do things that, Nixon could have tried to pardon himself, but he didn't.
Some other dude did.
Pardon the people that broke into the Democratic headquarters or whatever. He could have He could have pardoned them. He didn't do that.
Someone pardoned Nixon, though, right? Didn't the next president?
Yeah, Ford did. Ford was the vice president. He became the president, and he pardoned Nixon, which was also corrupt.
Yeah.
But the argument was that it would help the country heal and bring the country closer together. That was the argument that Ford gave.
Do you remember it doing that?
I was really never much into politics when I was younger. I really didn't care that much, but I really see I'm not this outwardly patriotic type person, but I don't want to see the United States damaged, lose our democracy here, which is what, if you let it go on and nobody does anything about it, that's what's going to happen here. A lot of the freedoms that you have today are being eroded, to my way of thinking.
Yeah.
So, what in your mind? What's the best way forward, and what would you do, or are you doing?
What am I doing?
I mean, yeah. What
are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what I'm doing right now, discussing it.
Yeah, so he's on a platform.
Try to bring awareness to people. But there are people who make decisions strictly based upon their own personal situations. It could be their financial situation. It could be their religious views, whatever it is. And I can understand all of that. Or it could be, I can't understand a government wanting to damage clean air and clean water, which affects everyone, their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren. I can't understand that, and I can't understand how corrupt things are becoming right now. The nerve of what's going on right now is just unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
Because as Donald Trump's niece said, he will stop at nothing, to win. For him, it's like, I guess, like being a quarterback on a football team or something.
Yeah. He's delusional.
Yeah. So what's your opinion, Brandon?
Yeah, Brandon.
I was gonna say I was in it was a Zoom play, but it was a show called It Can't Happen Here, which it's like a 3.5 hour read, but I highly recommend it. And it happened, I think it was written, God, I'm not good with years, but 30s, 40s, right before Hitler. But it was written in the US, and there was this guy who was very, let's say, Trump-esque, but he was sort of almost openly fascist at the time. Like, there was a big fascism movement happening that was bubbling up from Germany, and basically the play was fictionalizing a character based on this man who people were saying was going to be president. And he might have won. I think he died. He definitely died before he ever got a chance to be in office. I'm not sure if he was killed or what happened, but people were terrified of him. And the show was like written almost 100 years ago, and the first scene reads exactly like the way that discourse is today, and then it devolved, and then it devolves very quickly into like sort of a Hitler Germany type situation here. And I think that the veil that it can't happen here is like very thin, and it definitely can. So yeah.
That's exactly what I'm afraid of.
I think I'm more hopeful in like the last few weeks, but
yeah. Or it could have been happening here the whole time, and now we just see it more.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of awful things that have happened in our society, and especially for minorities, for women, and I can appreciate all that. But now we have a situation where, we could really lose our democracy if we don't get a hold of it. And I don't know that whether you people are knowledgeable about all the things that's been going on with this situation. I don't know if you are or not, but just over the last 4 years, it's unbelievable the types of things that have been going on. I'm kind of pulling my punches in a way because I could be more specific, but just saying.
Yeah.
So who do we have on this evening? What are we going to talk about?
Yeah, I was gonna.
The revolution will not be televised.
I think the screen cuts to static. Your program will be back shortly. Our first guest today is Marianne Medford. And then Benin is in the Zoom, and then we have someone else named Mythos the Bear. So I'm not sure.
Maybe that's Elsa then.
Okay, great. But yeah, our first guest is Marianne.
Bonsoir. Ooh, that's a nice headshot.
Hi, Marianne. That's not live, is it? I mean, she's like a freeze model.
No, but it's a lovely profile picture.
Yeah.
It's a really good headshot.
Yeah.
Marianne, hi.
Hello.
Can you hear us okay?
Okay. How is that?
Yay. Hello.
Great. We hear you now.
Is that okay?
That's wonderful. Yeah. How are you?
Hello.
Okay. It had a sorry. I'm good. Thank you. Let me come back where I can see you. Hold on just a second. Where did you go? Oh, there you are. Zoom.
Ooh.
All right. Interesting conversation.
Yeah.
You hearing me?
Cutting in and out.
We hear you.
There's a little lag, but we can hear you.
Okay. I'm sorry. This is a brand new headset.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
fine.
a great headset. Yeah, no, it's fine. We're good.
You're good.
Okay.
The sound quality's good. Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been listening in?
I jumped on right after for about 15 minutes now.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. So you're hearing about all the craziness going on and
that we've been living in for years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope she missed Brandon's bad joke earlier about the lions, tigers, and bears.
You can only make that joke once in a lifetime.
Yeah,
it might have been the corniest thing, but
yeah, I missed it. Sorry.
It's all right.
Grandpa, what's that documentary that you were telling us about before? With there was a lion or something living with.
Well, there was I guess it was a YouTube video of these three animals. It was a lion, a tiger, and a bear.
And then I said, "Oh my!"
Oh God!
I'm gonna remove.
They were in bad health. They had been brought from either a zoo or a carnival or whatever. However, but they lived together. They put them together, and they really loved one another, and spent their lives. Two of them are still alive. I think the lion died, but it was interesting that three different species of animals would get along like that.
That sounds like you were having a political conversation.
Oh yeah, what do you think?
Oh,
yeah,
we were.
Lions versus bears versus tigers.
How about
donkeys versus elephants?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you are.
What are you thinking, Marianne?
Yeah, what are you thinking about it?
Oh, I'm glad the election's over. I live in Georgia, so we still have Senate race to go here. I can't stand the commercials. Everybody wants to make the other person look bad, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. It's ugly. Politics is an ugly sport.
Yeah. I just moved to Georgia.
Did you?
Yeah. I don't have a TV though, so I'm not getting any ads. But yeah, it's good. I haven't really left my house, but
Yeah. Well, I don't have cable, so I don't see the ads on the television. I hear them on the radio and Alexa. Yeah.
Not sure. Where are you based out of in Georgia?
I am in the Atlanta area, north of Atlanta.
Oh, cool, cool. I just moved to Atlanta, actually.
Oh, cool.
I lived in Roswell.
That's my neighbor. I'm in Marietta.
Yeah. Nice area.
Yeah, you got any good recommendations, Marianne?
For
what? Best food that you've eaten here, maybe?
Well, iconic food, you got to go to the Varsity. I wouldn't say it's the best food.
Second time I heard that, huh?
That's what Grandpa said.
Oh, yeah, the Varsity, definitely iconic. I can't think of the last time I went to not a chain restaurant, really. I just can't think of one.
Paul's?
How about what?
Pano and Paul's, are they still around?
I don't know that name.
They were the best restaurants in Atlanta. They had a seafood house, and I think it was called the Buckhead Diner was another one.
Okay.
It was called Pano and Paul's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, up here, if you like barbecue, Williamson Brothers is a good one. That's on Roswell Road in Marietta. They have other locations, but that's the one that's nearest to where you would be in Atlanta.
Gotcha.
So I'm trying to get my bearings. Is Marietta, is that where Phipps is located, Phipps Mall?
Phipps, no. That would be closer to the perimeter. I think that's, I don't want to say Buckhead. That's not quite down to Buckhead, but...
No, I think Phipps does... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I don't know. I've never been to Phipps Plaza.
Okay.
So, yeah. But I believe that's closer to the perimeter.
I see. Okay.
Which Marietta does cross over the perimeter, actually. Right. Cross over 285 a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. A question we were talking about before, and I'm curious on your thoughts, Marianne, but do you feel like the craziness, the corruption, everything that's been going on has been getting crazier, or it's always been this way?
I think we definitely had heightened craziness in the last 4 years. But I also have to consider that there's a lot of, social media that we probably had people that it could have turned our country crazier years ago, in history, but we didn't have the rapid response that we can have now on, social media. But I don't know if it's getting crazier as in since the election, if that's what you mean.
Yeah. Well, just like, yeah, Grandpa.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
Marianne, what would you say to the fact that, for instance, Nixon, you're familiar with his presidency, I'm sure?
I'm old enough, yes.
Okay. I don't want to put it that way, but that Nixon didn't try to pardon himself, and the people that worked for him and broke in to the Democratic headquarters, whereas today there's talk about Trump pardoning all these people that have been already found guilty of crimes.
Well, that's certainly the prerogative of an outgoing president.
Mm-hmm.
That's his prerogative.
Mm-hmm. Sketchy.
But,
maybe you don't like it. Maybe I don't like it. Maybe it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I'm saying a difference in the I guess the character of the people, one that would do it and one that wouldn't.
I mean, he didn't have to. Is the thing. Like it's not like Ford surprised threw a surprise party and was like, you don't have to go to prison. Like it was, I'm sure it was planned that he was going to be able to resign and then get pardoned and then we would move on.
Refresh my memory. Is what Nixon did, was it? I guess it was illegal. I was going to say, I know it was impeachment worthy because he resigned before impeachment.
Yeah, he had a group of men who broke in, and he was aware of it, broke into the Democratic headquarters and stole documents and so forth.
Okay.
And that's basically,
That would be a crime, yes. Sorry, I was just a high school kid at the time, so my mind was not really on politics. What I know about Nixon, I know from history, not current events. So, anyway, I see. So Brandon, this is your granddad?
Yeah, he's been my grandfather
all of your life.
25 years. Yeah.
And did I somewhere read? Oh, maybe I caught it online. Are you up in New York, Granddad?
I'm outside of Philadelphia, suburban Philadelphia.
Oh, okay. I don't know why I thought New York. I am a native New Yorker. So.
What part of New York?
Brandon,
what area of New York?
I was born in Jamaica. And we moved to Levittown on Long Island when I was like 11 or 12.
Brandon, I'm starting to think that you just drive around and just before you went to Atlanta, I used to think you just drove around and found people, because literally, Marianne, every single episode we get at least one person that's from New Jersey, where Brandon is from. We get someone that's living in the same county as Brandon, or living in the same city as Brandon, or down the street from Brandon. We always get a bunch of New Englanders on here.
It's crazy because I don't think it does. It put location on Backstage. I
don't know. Where am I?
I don't know.
People? Where are my Idaho people? Where am I? Wyoming fam? Where's my Wyoming fam?
Where are you? Where are you?
I'm in Chicago area.
Okay.
I'm in New York.
All right.
That's why we read that.
There you go.
I'm in Astoria, Queens. So I'm away from Jamaica, far from Jamaica, but same, and still in Queens.
Right. I've been to Astoria when I was younger. I left New York when I was 19. I joined the military and I did a career, so I never moved back.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What branch of the military?
Air Force.
Ooh.
Cool. Yeah.
How long did you serve?
20 years.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
So you have a nice pension already.
I do have a pension.
Yeah.
I always say they pay me not to come to work anymore. I love it.
Right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, you can do pretty well if you have the pension and you're also working as well, continuing to work. So you can do very well. Yeah.
Well, I actually turned into a stay-at-home mom after that, because I had my youngest son as I was retiring. I have 3 boys, so my husband and I had our youngest then. And so we headed over to Germany on my husband's last assignment. And I got to enjoy the country over there as a dependent wife instead of a service member. And that was a lot of fun. But I spent my last 22 years in sales. So.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
Did you guys...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, did you guys meet in the military or?
We did. We were set up.
Oh, cool.
Literally set up?
We were literally set up. I had a going away party for a friend, and she said, "I'm bringing somebody. I want you to meet him. And let me warn you, I'm batting 1,000 because I set up 5 people and they all got married."
Wow.
That's great.
I wonder how she's doing now. Still 1,000, hopefully.
She is. She's passed, unfortunately, but she's passed away. But
hopefully 1,000 ended on it. That's good.
She knows what happened.
Yeah.
Because we only dated for 6 months and then we got married. And
wow.
That's great. Miriam, what type of product are you selling?
I have actually resigned my business. I was 22 years with the Tupperware company as a demonstrator and trainer and Salesforce member, and I am, as of yesterday, a newly minted actress.
Yeah,
my first gig yesterday.
Hey, congratulations!
Wow.
Thanks.
Is it something you always dreamed of doing, or?
Yeah, I think I've probably been acting my whole life, just not getting paid for it.
Same as most actors.
Right. So what's going to change, right?
Yeah.
I got paid for yesterday's gig a little bit. Yeah.
That's amazing.
There you are. Hey.
Can you say what you did at all? Or?
I did a commercial.
That's awesome.
It was. It'll be on social media. I don't know if I'm allowed to say. I've said it on my Facebook page, so I don't know if it matters.
Amazing. Super cool.
You know, it's that place where you go to check your symptoms when you're not sure what you got. You know, you type in that address.
Cool.
Yeah. That's dope.
Nice.
That's
Name brand stuff. I see.
That's fancy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
The one that always tells me, never mind. I'm not gonna, I won't.
Well, what?
Nothing.
What led you into the Air Force?
My flute, actually. I was a musician in the Air Force, and I was studying music. It was 2 years in a college, and I was at a junior college, and I didn't have money to go on to the, you know, my parents weren't going to be able to afford to send me to Hofstra, where all my friends were going, and this came along to audition, and I was like, yeah, you're going to pay me to play instead of me pay to go to college? Let's do that.
I don't know if this is a proper question, but how good is like the Air Force Orchestra relative to, you know, like a major orchestra in the U.S.?
Well, I would say
Boston
that you're
Symphony or whoever.
Yeah, good question. In fact, one of the he's not young anymore. One of the guys that I worked with and supervised during one of my tours now plays oboe with the Boston Pops, I think. I want to say Boston Pops.
Arthur Fiedler?
I don't think he's... Yeah, that was his group. Yeah. So anyway, I would say that our premier bands, which are in Washington, D.C., and then at the Academy, those are on par. And it's really, really tough to get into those. And then you have the field bands, and there's fewer and fewer of them. I think when I got in, there were 20. Now there's like 6, maybe 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, how do they compare with the Army Orchestra? Just joking.
I've worked with musicians from all over from the different services. We've had joint service concerts, and the only thing I can tell you that there's a difference is the starting point, because the Army, the Marines, the Navy, I believe, all will go to the Naval School of Music. I think is Naval School of Music in Little Creek, Virginia. At least that's what they did years ago. I've been retired for 25 years now. Keep that in mind. So they would go through that, and then they would become certified and go into their bands. Whereas in the Air Force, they kind of skipped that part, and they just brought the level of qualification up to wherever you would be when you got out of that program.
How did it feel to play music for a living?
It was so much fun.
Man,
until I had kids.
Until you had kids, and then what happened? Then it became work.
Then I didn't want to be traipsing all over the country. Yeah. But I had to, because I was kind of committed at that point.
Wow. That's still pretty awesome. Yeah.
You still pull out the old flute once in a while?
I do. I am a member of one of our local wind symphonies in the area.
Wow.
Whoa.
That is so cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. What does it take to be like a top flute player? Is it just practice or talent, do you believe? Or
well, passion, probably a fire. You know what, I'll tell you the truth. I did it for fun for many, many years, but having really been studying acting since this summer, from August, one class after the other, I can see that there was something missing in me as a musician. There was just, it wasn't burning in my soul. It was just something that I did. I liked doing it, and somebody was going to pay me to do it, so I kept doing it. So I was never going to make it to the top of, flutedom, the flute kingdom.
Everybody knows the top flutist for sure.
Oh, yeah. And so even in our wind symphony, I think there are 10 to 12 flute players, and I sit squarely in the middle, and I'm okay with that. I'm not going to be the person who's carrying all the solos, but I just want to play. I want to put my flute on my face and play. Right now I have pandemic chops. I can't, they're horrible.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you know any overcoming stories, like someone with asthma that ended up being the first chair in the flute, playing the flute or anything like that?
That's funny.
Why do you have asthma and you want to play the flute?
You found it. No.
I nailed it, huh? I don't. I'm trying to think who. Oh, actually, I do have a friend who is in the symphony with me, and she has a myriad of health problems, and she actually does only have one lung.
Wow.
And she majored in music in college, and her career was she's like an aeronautical engineer. She's real smart.
Yeah.
But she plays very well, and she's been playing she plays in a couple of different civic ensembles in the area.
Wow. Maybe you can tell me how it is that like young kids that really, they could be 10 years old and can sit down at a piano or whatever and play symphony or jazz or whatever without really having had a lot of training. Mm-hmm. It just amazes me. Is it just a gift or is it practical? What is it?
That has to be a gift. I mean, that is a God-given gift to somebody to be able to do that. And I mean, where does that come from, if at that young age? But I don't think it's necessary to have that in order to be very successful and at the top of the game. I don't know that James Galway was that prodigy child. I'm not sure, but I don't think he was. But my three boys they play music to different degrees. My middle son is actually working in the music industry in Nashville, and he's a keyboard player. And he started out on drums, actually. And I knew when he was 4 years old, that's all he wanted to be, was a musician, because that's all he asked for Christmas was a drum set. And we were stationed in Japan at the time. I was like, where am I going to get a drum set? Turned out somebody was carrying one into the bass thrift shop. As I was getting there, I was like, don't unload that. Just put that right in my car. I'll take that.
That's great.
Wow.
And that's what he got for Christmas. But he turned into a piano. A couple of years later, he took about 6 lessons on the piano with the same girl that set me and my husband up.
No.
So my first 2 boys are from my first marriage, in case timeline seems wonky to you right now. Like, huh? So, yeah, and so he is with a major country artist playing keyboard.
Delightful.
Yeah.
And he always had that. Yeah, that passion, right? He
does. He had that burning in him. Yeah, that's his story to tell. I could go on all day about all the things that happened, and he's been on podcasts talking about his story too. So.
Well, you have 2 other boys, did you say?
I do. I have an older one who's in California. He's an outstanding artist. He works mostly in leather, and he does concept drawings.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
And my youngest is an airline pilot.
Wow. Great.
The one that I had as I was retiring from the Air Force, that one.
Was your big passion thing, was that acting that you've always had? Or?
I believe so. I was in theater in high school, and I did a little bit in college, and as a musician, I'm always on the stage, so I was always performing.
Yeah.
We would not just sit there and play music. There's other things that went on around the shows that we put on. So yeah, making people happy and bringing smiles to faces is really the thing that lights me up.
When you pick up a chart, how long does it take? How much practice does it take to play it professionally? Is it something that happens right away? Does it take several hours? Does it take a week? How long does it take to get where your skill is sufficient to play in an orchestra?
Okay, well, that's a good question. Well, let's use an example of when we rehearse with the Cobb Wind Symphony. They'll pass out music that is, some of it, just needs a cursory look over, getting, and then putting it together with the ensemble. But there are some pieces that take a lot of wood shedding, and that means going home, taking this piece and working it out note from note, bringing it slower, working it up, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that can take, depending on the difficulty of the piece and who's doing it. For me, it can take weeks. But we typically, in our Wind Symphony, we will typically perform in the fall. We'll do a Veterans Day concert and a Christmas concert or holiday concert. And then in the spring, we'll do a concert in March, a concert in May. So we do 4 to 5 concerts a year. So, weeks to work something up is not And we only rehearse every other week. So, but you've got to get that stuff down under your fingers and in your mouth, in your face, to be able to put the ensemble together.
Does a director, the orchestra conductor, do they know how to play all the instruments? Or it always amazed me. You have so many different instruments and everything. How they pull it all together.
I don't know that they know how to play every instrument, but I don't know. Oops, I'm getting my own feedback now. Certainly, they play an instrument. They usually always come from the ranks somewhere in the orchestra or the ensemble. But if they've spent any time as a music educator, if they studied that in college and became a music educator, they have. I never got this far, so what I know about this is only from hearing from my friends who are music educators. They will be introduced to all the different instruments during their education. So they'll get a little bit on, you pick your string instrument. You want violin or viola. They'll play a little bit of that for a semester, and then they'll do, a brass instrument, or they'll do a percussion instrument, that sort of thing.
Cool. Well, Marianne, we have another guest coming up, but thank you so much for being on. We love having you.
Thank you. I enjoyed that.
And
it's really nice to meet you.
Gig.
Yeah, I really enjoyed discussing this with you.
Yeah. Okay, y'all have fun.
Have a good night.
Thanks. Bye.
Mythos
the bear.
Yes. This is Elsa. She emailed me because we kept talking about it.
Okay, great.
I'll be right back.
Me too. I need to grab some. I'm gonna get something to drink. Hey,
we're gonna do D&D.
Hello, Elsa.
Hey,
how you been?
Hi.
Well, I'd be better if I didn't have to go after Marianne. She was amazing.
Yeah, you play any flute?
No, I have never played a single instrument in my entire life.
Yeah, I'm so jealous. I'm just so jealous of people with musical talent. It's amazing.
My twin sister and I are the only ones in my family that have never played an instrument.
Wow. So maybe if you picked it up, you'd have the genes to be able to do it, no?
I actually tried to learn to play the guitar once, but I moved away to college, so that didn't really work out.
Got you. Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like I do a lot better, vocally. So
cool. Yeah. I think singing is a great instrument. It's I took guitar lessons for I think 2 years because I just thought it was the coolest thing, the coolest thing. And I learned 2 or 3 very basic songs. And we had a show, a little recital for the class or whatever. And as soon as I went up there, I just choked. Everybody turned around. They're like, what the fuck are we, we rehearsed this forever. And the very first time I was on stage, it was just no go. But yeah.
I just had a friend from high school teaching me, and I learned how to play the theme song from Titanic, and that was about it.
Oh.
Yeah, that was our practice song for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know how to play it now, but I did then.
Since you've last been on, I learned that I'm true neutral. I don't know if that.
I learned that about me too.
Yeah.
In the last
a lot of
few
D&D
weeks.
memes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I'm all these charts kind of sound like I'm true neutral.
Are you actually true neutral as well, Phines?
Yeah, I took the test. Yeah, I'm true neutral.
I took it recently. This is so weird. We're all true neutral. What
does that mean?
It just means you're trying to survive. No, me. It is different.
Pandemic brain.
Yeah. Elsa, you having done it, what's the best description of D&D alignment to Grandpa?
Gosh, I have a hard time with this because sometimes I'm I think I'm this, I think I'm this, or I want this character to be this, but that's not actually what that means. So it really depends. You have true neutral, which is you follow the law when it suits you, but you try to do good things if you can. You don't want to be a terrible person, but you're not going to go out of your way to be an extraordinary person.
Yeah. Do you know D&D, Grandpa? What we're talking about?
No, I'm totally lost.
That's funny because that's like the only thing I remember.
Department of Defense, whatever.
Dungeons and Dragons.
No, I've never gotten in any of the games. I wouldn't be good at them anyhow, so I don't attempt them.
So this is not a video game. It's like, I think this has been around for like 50 years or something, right? 60.
It's really old. People blamed D&D and Marilyn Manson for a whole bunch of shootings when I was little, so it's been around for a long time.
Did not know that.
I've never heard of it.
Yep.
Yeah. So give me an example of what you're talking about. I have no idea.
All 5 of us will go on an adventure, and we'll be different characters through this adventure. And there'll be a master that tells the story of what adventure we're going on, and we would try to get through the adventure together as a team, essentially.
But not like a video game, like almost kind of like a board game. Yeah, like a board game you play at a table.
Party,
yeah, like you are together as a group, cohesively making a story verbally.
Sounds like fun.
It does, right?
I mean, unless you are a bit and then you dress up.
Yeah.
Let's dress up. I'm about it. I'm ready.
I'll do it. Okay.
I'll do it. I want a sword. Well, I want a staff and a sword. I want a staff.
Can we find out Grandpa's alignment on air? I would love to do that. That would be fun.
I've already exposed myself too much already.
I mean, he might be like lawful neutral or something.
Lawful neutral. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I heard his whole Nixon speech, so I feel like that's where he is.
Yeah. I can see Sierra being lawful neutral too. Or chaotic, maybe chaotic neutral.
No, chaotic good. Chaotic good.
Chaotic good.
Is this something to determine your psychology of what type of person you are?
For the game, you create a character and you decide what type of alignment that character has, and there's either good or evil, right? Or lawful, or what is the other one? Chaotic, yeah. And so you get to decide your character, but then a lot of people frequently there's a test online, or they figure out what they are themselves, because this D&D alignment thing that D&D created, it has turned into a trope that almost every TV show, movie, character, all that stuff has. You could Superman is lawful good, right? I guess.
Yeah, and Stranger Things pretty much revolves around D&D.
Yeah.
Does it really? Oh my god!
Yeah,
I never put that together.
The kids are playing, and they say the Demogorgon.
Right.
Dang.
I never put that together.
No,
I've watched all the seasons.
It seems so obvious.
Oh my god! They're living their game.
Guys, do it here, seriously.
So cool.
Yeah.
So could we do the test with Grandpa? Is that?
How long? The test seems super long, y'all.
It's 4 or 5 minutes.
Are you going to expose me?
No. It's not
what do you have to hide, Grandpa? You're so worried about being exposed.
Well, I'm the only one that, to my knowledge now, that so far really has given my real viewpoint on politics. Everybody else seems to be very cautious and kind of going around skirting everything. So
I don't know. I feel like I've been saying what I feel about the place I live. You already know how I feel about
you have Phines. You have.
But I don't care about politics.
I don't really care about politics
particularly careful.
No, I'm not. No.
Yeah, Brandon.
I've said it a lot.
Like Grandpa,
I get my politics from Legal Eagle. I mean, come on.
Love it.
From what is it? WebMD?
No.
Was that the one?
WebMD can't find anything, much less politics. No, Legal Eagle on YouTube, he just did an episode about can Trump pardon himself and his family, which ties into what you were talking about earlier.
We love to see it.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
Do you have any particular feelings about that? Or maybe I shouldn't ask. I don't.
No. Well, I think this whole thing has been ridiculous, and he needs to concede and just shut up. But Legal Eagle's episode actually talked about it, and what happened with Nixon and Ford was Nixon agreed to step down if Ford would pardon him. And so people are thinking, maybe Trump will do the same thing. He'll step down right before his term is over and have Pence pardon him.
Yeah. What I don't know. Is there recent news on things? Like
Marianne, I don't have cable. So
there's a lot of conjecture, but nobody really knows what's going to happen. You know, there's a lot of people thinking different things are going to happen. You know, like he could resign right before his term is over, and then have the vice president pardon him. That's one possibility. There's a lot of different things that are being brought up, but one thing's for sure: they're fighting every way possible to overturn the election. That's for sure.
Isn't the other problem that you have to be pardoned for something specific? Like, you can't just get a blanket. If you did something, it's fine.
I'm confused. Are we talking? See, I don't know very enough, but you're talking about the impeachment that failed, or pardon for?
That's what he's saying. Like,
that's what they're saying. It's like, that's what I was thinking. Was like they're talking about pardons for anything that could potentially like come up as a result of his actions during his.
Is this new news though? Because I haven't read anything about a pardon at all.
No, he's been doing this. He's pardoned all his well, not been doing it. He did it. It is recent. He's pardoned his family.
Because I read the news like 3 days ago, but
oh no, it happened 3 days ago.
They've been talking about it.
4 days ago.
They've been talking about it for like a couple weeks. Like ever since he lost, basically, they've been talking about if he can be able to pardon himself and like how he can. But I was thinking that like you can't just give yourself and several others a blanket pardon, like if you've committed any federal crimes.
Well, you guys should watch that Illegal Eagle episode.
I'm gonna ask.
Not sponsored.
Good.
Yeah, I'll write it down.
He talks about all of that. He's like, what can you pardon? Who can you pardon? What crimes can you pardon? Can you do a blanket pardon?
You said he pardoned his family?
He's trying to. He hasn't done it
for what?
That's the problem.
There's a lot of stuff, so like narrow it down.
Well, one clue of it is that Nixon was pardoned by Ford, but Nixon had not actually been indicted for anything at that point. So, you know, that
it just sounds like you already did something. It's like you do something wrong and go, hey, if you see something messed up, that wasn't me, okay?
Well, and that's the whole thing with the pardon is that it's admitting wrongdoing. You did something illegal that you need a pardon for. It's just now it's kind of like double jeopardy. We're guilty. We can't charge them for that again. But if there's stuff in that, like if you committed fraud to do something and then used the money from that fraud to pay for the election and they got pardoned for that, they still committed the fraud over here. So you can still get them for that.
Yeah.
But a few states right now are trying to overturn the results of elections in other states. They're joining in a lawsuit along with the president, which to me is the craziest thing I've ever heard. That what's going on right now is this total corruption, in my opinion.
Yeah, a lot has been going on.
Yeah, but most people don't want to be open, especially when you're being recorded about their political views. You know, it's obvious, but maybe I should be the same way.
My political view is that they've been doing this forever. It's been going on for a long time. We can see it now because of social media, and we all have the news to watch it. Look at people shoot black people all the time, and they get away with it. And if they can call it a pardon, you can call it whatever you want. It's just unjust, and people have been doing it. So I'm almost like jaded by it, and also like it's like I'm shrugging my shoulders, like another thing that's happened to me. It just another thing just going on. They've been doing this for so long. So I listen to it and I hear it, but it's also like, well, shit.
But you should always try to make things better, regardless of what the past is. You should work to try to improve, to be a more perfect union, as they say. But yeah, there's been a lot of very, very unfortunate things that have gone on in this country. A lot of corruption, a lot of other things. But you still should try to make, stick your neck out a little bit to try to make things better.
I'll kneel at the next Pledge of Allegiance and see what happens.
Yeah.
I make the union better every day by not getting murdered or getting breathed on. That's my goal.
Ugh.
Every day.
No one wants to be breathed on in a normal situation.
No,
but
precisely. Precisely.
Yeah. There's also Biden's getting a really diverse group of people coming in. He's doing all that.
Yeah.
For his cabinet. He's trying to make it like America. That's really good. And hopefully if he gets to be the president, if Donald Trump and Biden talk about fighting all the time, and America loves fighting so much, we should just let them old men fight. And it'd be so much fun. You saw what happened.
My favorite tweet of all time.
Yeah, right. You seem like Nate Robinson and old dude Logan Paul fought, and everybody was like, "Oh my God!" So this pit Donald Trump,
whatever,
and Joe Biden in the ring.
I need that tweet. That's gonna be my only. I want that tweet on my on my headstone.
Well, is he gonna recuse himself for bone spurs or something though?
No. I'm gonna find it.
What is this tweet?
I'm gonna find it.
I feel like Joe Biden has good reach. I feel like he's got this. I feel like
he's got long fingers.
It's the best tweet ever. It's the best tweet ever. Thank you. March 22nd, 2018. Crazy Joe Biden is trying to act like a tough guy. Actually, he is weak, both mentally and physically, and yet he threatens me for the second time with physical assault. He doesn't know me, but he would go down fast and hard, crying.
Do it.
Don't threaten people, Joe.
Fight.
Logan Paul wrote that?
The president.
No, the president wrote that.
Real tweet. Best tweet ever.
Wait, physical? What? What is he talking about?
So what happened was, at some point in 2018, I guess, Joe Biden was at some event. He was speaking somewhere, at an event, and he was talking about the many, many things that the president has allegedly been accused of regarding just all the things he says and the sexual assault things that he's allegedly accused of. And Biden was speaking somewhere, and he said, if there was a guy when we were kids, when we were in high school, if somebody was talking like that or acting like that, we'd go beat him up, Don't know why he would say that. I don't know. I don't know why he would say that. I don't know what that's supposed to inspire. But for the president, inspired, he interpreted that as a real ass physical threat. If I see you in these streets, bro, it's over. It's done.
They're both 90.
They're so old. And they went back and forth 2 or 3 times before this tweet came out. And Biden, I'm going to tell you, Biden did not clap back. He did not have.
Who needs to see a debate with people talking when it doesn't really, it's talking in circles, they're not really addressing anything? Just let them fight.
It's the best tweet ever. That's the only.
At the very least, they could make it a celebrity death match type of thing.
Yeah. Or a Big Brother thing, or Survivor. Let them all sit in an island together and do something like that. Something a little bit more
walk in a straight line.
Entertaining.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Best tweet.
What's particularly concerning is that if the Democrats don't take over the Senate, they might have a difficult time confirming Biden's choice of.
Wait, I thought 2 weeks ago the woman who ran the transit something confirmed and started onboarding Biden to be president.
They started the transition, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't really matter if they don't have the Senate.
But he lost 6 states that were swing, right?
No.
Trump did. How could they possibly prove in court that he
this is an altogether different issue as far as him appointing people to his cabinet. They have to be approved by the Senate, and that right now that's up to Georgia. It's up to the.
You're talking
Georgia.
About
approval of
Biden is confirmed, but the cabinet.
Yeah, he could do what Trump did and just put temporary appointments that don't have to be confirmed, but which is really not the way you want to go. But anyhow,
temporarily permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so understaffed.
And are they? What's up with DACA and President Trump?
That just got reinstated, so they're supposed to be accepting they've been ordered to start accepting applications.
Good.
Again.
Yeah, judge ruled that they have to accept DACA. You ever turn Trump's order?
A lot of people want to get to their families and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
That's like one of the most messed up things that I could think of. Well, not one of the most, but it's like so messed up to think about. Like you literally, like what if somebody just like walked in your room right now? Like it could literally be any of us, and somebody just walked in and said, "Hey, listen, you're under arrest, and we're taking you to Argentina. we're taking you. Just have to leave." And you're like, "What? I don't know. What are you talking about? I don't know."
Rosie. No.
That legitimately happened, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's
that's what
to people that are U.S. citizens.
Yeah, it's so messed up. Like
they're like, "Hey, you have autism and you can't respond to us, but since you didn't say that you're not an illegal alien, we're gonna send you with a bunch of these people who don't know who you are and hope that you have family there. Bye."
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it's awful.
It's crazy.
And I think it's mostly about children that came here when they were 4, 5, or 6 years old, and they've been here for 10 years, let's say, and they want to send them back to a country that they have no experience with, and they're just the same as any American citizen, pretty much.
Yeah, you don't know anything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to send you somewhere that you don't even remember being.
Yeah, they don't really identify with the country that their parents came from.
Right.
They don't know anything about it.
I hope Biden helps that out a lot, like gives it a good push, help those people get back to their families.
Elsa, we have our next guest coming up, right? Is that our Yeah.
Should be.
All right.
But next time you're on, let's do more D&D stuff. And
yeah, we're doing
what's your grandpa guess?
For like character or for
D&D? Yeah, alignment.
I still want to say like lawful neutral.
Lawful neutral. Okay.
Yeah.
And I really still don't understand what that means, but I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but
no, it'll make sense. It'll make sense.
Yeah.
We'll do a whole episode about it.
Okay.
A whole and we'll have you as a dungeon master.
I'm in the dark. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Have a good night, Elsa.
See ya. Bye.
See you soon. Bye. Who do we have on next?
We have John.
John. Great.
Hello, John.
Hello, John.
Hey, how are you all?
Great. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good.
Been listening in for a while, yeah?
Oh man, we're coming in hot here.
Super happy to.
You guys.
There we go. We see both of y'all. Oh my God.
Yeah, this is Andrea.
Hi guys.
Very nice to finally
Hi.
officially meet you. Good to see you again, John.
Oh, good to see you too. Thanks.
I love the holiday spirit.
Yeah.
Super cute.
Are you back there?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
We love it.
In fact, that tree never comes down. It stays up year round, and we decorate it every holiday. Easter.
That's cool.
Oh,
Amazing.
nice.
Thanksgiving,
Amazing.
Halloween,
That's just
Valentine's Day,
That's just
and especially during this year, it was good. It felt really good to have that up and gave us a lot of spirit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit of joy, in this time of pandemic and politics, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It must feel good having its lights back on for Christmas.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
tree,
it's happy over there. Making us happy. We're happy. Everything is good. You guys have been heavy. You guys have been going down the road of politics and what's going on in the world, and wow.
Yeah, we're doing.
Yeah, let's go, John. Let's go.
Oh, I'll get in. I was listening to Grandpa. Grandpa's saying a lot of stuff that I believe. And I also heard, I think when I first came on, something about Nixon and Ford and the pardon that went on there and what have you. And that was very real, obviously. But Grandpa, I wanted to mention to you that there's a book that I heard about, and you might have interest in reading it. And the book is called When the Center Held. And it was written by Donald Rumsfeld, who's a name you'll probably remember.
I do remember.
It's the story of Gerald Ford coming in after Nixon resigned. And we had chaos in this country similar to what we're experiencing now, Great Divide. And the story is how the politicians at the time stood up to make sure that the center of the country and the center sensibility of the country, under the terms of the Constitution, held in that in basically in the face of a treasonous act on the part of our president. So it's a good book and a good read, and you might like it. You might like it.
Sounds very interesting, but it seems like the present administration is not going to take, and the party are not going to take the same route.
No, they're not.
It's a different world. I mean, Nixon could have said, "I'm going to pardon, the guys that did the break-in, and I'm going to pardon myself, try to pardon myself," but he didn't do that. He just resigned.
He just resigned, like a patriot, frankly. I mean, he put country above even the madness of his own actions, which was cool. So, but now we're so imbued in grievance and resentment, and conflict, and narcissism, and small differences. It's almost impossible, really, to unpack where we are. Well,
it's almost like a civil war. Just we don't have shooting guns at one another.
I agree.
Really, in a sense, yeah. And I'm Jewish and my wife is Gentile, so I've been helping her with a Christmas tree and putting up lights outside. She gets enjoyment from that, and I'm happy that I can help to give her some enjoyment. So I understand, with your Christmas tree and so forth.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was also thinking the other day, because I had opportunity to talk to some guys who I know from actually we sing together in a chorus here in Philadelphia. We're in Philadelphia, by the way.
Oh, really?
Hey.
Yeah.
Neighbors with Grandpa.
Again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. But these are younger men, younger than I am, and it dawned on me in talking to them about some of these things that anybody who was born after 1980 really has never seen true bipartisanship in their political awareness lives. If they were born in 1980 when Ronald Reagan and Tip O'Neill were doing the bipartisan thing, they were too young to be aware of it. Their consciousness coming into the political sensibility of our country happened probably in the mid-90s. And by then we were getting ready to impeach Clinton, right? And then we had the controversy around the election in 2000. And then all that happened to Bush, and then the birther thing with Obama, and it's just gone on and on. And the young people today have never seen what this country's intended to be from a bipartisan standpoint. It just never happened. I feel bad about that.
Yeah, well, Chip O'Neill was great. I mean, he was a Democrat, and they really came together with him. Do you think that there's any chance that Biden will be able to pull the country together with the way things are right now?
Only if they choose to let him. And unfortunately, I'm a big believer in balance of power, so I really don't like one side holding power in all of the institutions of government. But I think under the circumstances, it probably will be best if the Democrats can hold the Senate in this Georgia thing, because now we'll have a chance of Biden actually being listened to. But if we can't get things done, and they just make a pact, Mitch McConnell sort of makes a pact to go forward and destroy everything Biden does the way he did with Obama, then we've got, another 4 years of this nonsense. The only hope in this is that there are some moderate Republicans in the Senate that, Biden may have a relationship with them that would allow him to win a few of them over. And if that's the case, we can get some things done, which would be wonderful. We need to. Everybody's looking at each other, throwing tomatoes at one another, Democrat and Republican. We got stuff going on around the world with China and what have you. They're advancing. You know, their economies are advancing. They're making their mark in the world the way we used to, and you know, we're falling behind the 8 ball.
Well, I agree with you that I fully agree with you that first of all, I don't think that I think it's unlikely that the Democrats are going to take control of the Senate. Just the way I'm looking at the numbers, it's possible, but I don't think so. But there is a possibility that some of the more moderate Republicans will join with the Democrats, and that would be great. That would be a good thing.
Yep, I agree.
What do you think, Andrea?
No, I agree. I agree with that. And I agree with the DACA and how it's just so sad about these kids that don't, you know, they were taken away from their parents. Yeah. I mean, it's a nightmare. So I'm hoping he can fix that.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard the story that Elsa told about the nonverbal person with autism. That's like horrendous, like disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah.
They took him away. That's yeah.
Yeah, the inhumanity of some of this is just hard to get your head around. It really is.
So I am a neutral. I'm neutral good.
Yeah.
You got a D&D. So. Yes. Whoa.
Yes, because I like to take care of everybody. So.
How did you find out? Did you take a test, or you just knowing yourself? Oh, okay, cool.
Well, I took the test, and I just know in myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever get your brother to take it, or?
No, he's my partner.
Partner. Apologies.
You call him my brother. I'm like, well, he's not my brother.
Whatever. You know.
Sleep in the same bed, so it can't be my brother.
I meant partner.
Yeah, not the same thing.
Hey, John, what type of music? I'm sorry, excuse me. I just want to know what type of music you're part of a choir, I think you said.
Yes. Yeah, I sing with a men's choral group, choral society here in Philadelphia. We're the oldest male a cappella group in the country.
Oh, nice.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. We just sing. You know, we kind of uphold the tradition of all men a cappella. All men choral a cappella. So we sing some really good things. And we do quartet work and large concerts. We perform at Verizon Hall in the Academy. We
he had a solo.
But all right.
Say that.
Okay, here we go.
At Verizon Hall.
Well, anyway, all of that having been said, it's a great experience because not only are we doing good for the community and keeping male a cappella alive, but we're all very close to each other, and you know we give back a lot to the city, and we have a good group that follows us and supports us. So yeah, it's really good.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So I'm a chaotic good.
Chaotic good. Yo, I gotta say, I feel like I read an email that said the word brother somewhere, and it totally must have not been y'all. But deepest apologies.
Y'all.
We're on like yeah. It's been a lot of guests.
I laugh now when you say that.
You know what? I'm glad you didn't let it go on for any longer. Because it just got more awkward and more awkward. I'm glad
yeah. I was literally gonna ask. I was like, oh, who's the older sibling? Who's the younger? I had all these sibling related questions. Like,
what mom likes to more?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh man.
Family.
Here we are though, live on air. Huh?
Yeah.
No other place to be.
What do you think the chaos comes, the chaotic side?
Well, I'm you know, I like to do good, but I like to do good the way I find good. I don't necessarily like to follow the rules. I don't break the rules in a manner to harm anybody else, but you know, I'm a breakout guy. You know, I ride a motorcycle, you know, things like that. Yeah.
I'm surprised, Grandpa.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm surprised you just have never heard of D&D. It's yeah.
I think of Department of Defense. John, what type of motorcycle do you drive?
I have a Harley Davidson.
You ever go to, what am I thinking of? Gettysburg? They used to all come into Gettysburg during the summer.
Oh yeah,
hundreds of them.
Yeah, I've been all over the country on it. I've been to Gettysburg. I've been up to Laconia, New Hampshire to that show. I got down to Wildwood. I've been out to Sturgis, which is the big one, out in South Dakota. I've traveled all through the Rocky Mountains and Colorado Mountains, up along the Mississippi, up into the Northern Tier, up along the Great Lakes, up into New England and Maine. And 2 years ago, I went up into the Canadian provinces and spent 10 days up there, which was really great.
Wow. Well, I'll ask you a political question then. How do you compare the Harley with a Goldwing?
Wow, man, Grandpa, you kind of know what you're talking about when you get into certain things. I am coveting a new Goldwing. You want to know the truth? Because the performance and the technology on that motorcycle is second to none. And so that will be, if I move out of my Harley, that will be my next bike.
Will your buddies accept you?
Well, it's funny because the last 2 years since the Goldwing came out, and BMW is doing some really cool things too, that are more performance oriented and actually more cruising oriented, which is what we really are. Indian, BMW, and Honda have all taken our eye. So on our trips, we're all talking about those bikes, where usually what we would talk about is the next model of Harley to come out and how we aspired to own that. So I think we're all going to defect, frankly. I think within the next 3 to 5 years, we'll all defect to either Honda or BMW, and less likely would be Indian. So,
I rode most of my adult life.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. It's its own thing.
What did you ride?
Well, I've had probably 30 different bikes, mostly Hondas. Had everything from a Whizzer motorbike and a Cushman motor scooter to a 1000cc Honda that had, I believe it had 12 forward gears. It was 2 sets of 6 gears, if I remember correctly. 1000cc. I've had 754s and BM R69s and matchless 500cc's, and I could go on and on.
I never knew you rode bikes, Grandpa.
Yeah, I had many of them, but I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, like ever.
Had many of them.
Never brought it up. That's interesting.
I knew you were an adrenaline junkie when Rosie came at you that one time, and you still kept her. So.
Yeah.
I had at one time. I had the fastest production motorcycle it made at that time. It still would be a very fast bike, and today it's probably worth $75,000 to $100,000. And I think when I left for college, my father threw it in a garbage can or something.
Dang.
Wow.
It's called a Vincent Black Shadow. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Oh wow.
Vincent Black Shadow.
No, I'm not familiar with that. That sounds cool. That's a really cool bike. Yeah. Huh.
I rode on the back of a motorcycle for the first time this past summer on his bike.
How was it?
Yeah.
Scary?
It was scary. The first time, actually, I did it twice. The first time, it had the what is it called? The sissy bar in the back?
Yeah, well, I had just the straight up sissy bar. I didn't have the armrest going around the back panel. And so she had a lot of
Well, it was a very windy day. So I was to fly off. So he went out and he got me a seat that has armrests.
Yeah.
We have matching headphones, and we can talk back and forth. And
wow, that's cool.
It's good. So it's then we took a nice ride. It was fun. I loved it.
Yeah.
Delightful.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Anybody else here ever get up on a motorcycle or try that? Or
if Grandpa had mentioned it, I probably would have. But
now you're gonna have to listen. Black Shadow, and you're gonna have to order one.
I don't even think I've hung out with someone who's rode a bike. Like Period.
Yeah. And people who ride different types of bikes are really different mentality people. There's, what they call crotch rockets that are people that take a lot of risks. People that ride Harleys are generally civilized. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, we're crews. We take it easy. We try to follow the rules. But these young guys, man, on what you're calling the crotch rockets, in and out of the traffic. I mean, on the highway at 100 miles an hour, just dodging and weaving in between cars. I mean, wow.
Riding on the white line in between the cars, for sure.
Yeah. One little mistake, man, and they're going to be vaporized. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
The closest I longboarded and skateboarded a lot when I was in high school and college, and I part of the rush is like, at any second, I mean, it's extremely dangerous, right? Like if I felt, and there's something to that where like it made me just focus on the present moment, and it felt really good. Like that sort of flow state. So
I think that's well said. There's a sense of there's sort of a thrill to having done it, and then when you've accomplished it and it's over, you're like, wow, what did I just do? I beat it again, and it was great. And that's a good feeling.
I can understand that for sure.
Yeah, that's that sort of chaotic rebel thing.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we've got another guest coming up on the line, but thank you guys both so much for coming on. It was good to meet you, Andrea.
Thank you.
Thanks for
talking to you.
Thanks for having us. It was great to see you.
Please, if you want to come back soon, anytime, please, would love to have you.
All right, we'll be back because this is great.
Great.
Have a great night.
All right.
Good night, guys.
Yeah, bye-bye.
See ya.
Hello, what is up?
Oh, how are you?
For an hour.
Hang on, your visual's coming up there.
I think we should get Azumi on too, just since it's so late past the slot, right?
I have no problem with that. Hi, Azumi.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
How's everyone doing?
Not too bad. Yourself?
I'm all right. I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you gotten any more gigs since we last saw you, Ben?
Unfortunately, I think it's a little too soon for that. Like, you only saw me like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
You got this gig now, so 2 for 2.
I don't know.
We're expecting a lot from you, apparently. Like, come on.
Hey, I hope both of y'all don't mind us going so over. But we're super happy to have you both. So,
no problem. I didn't even expect to be on today until I got your email.
Yeah. I was trying to send it to you telepathically, but I guess it didn't work.
I feel the vibrations.
Can you hear us, Azumi?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I can only see one person. I think it's Shara.
Yeah.
Oh, are you on speaker view?
Or gallery. You need to be on gallery.
How do I do this? I'm using a different computer, so.
Gotcha. At the top right of your Zoom screen, do you see a button called View?
Are you using the Zoom app, or did you just open it like in a window?
It's a browser.
Then you can't do speaker view. Yeah, I found that.
Oh, okay.
So unfair.
Someone making tea?
Yeah, I was going to say, what the heck? We got ghosts in here.
Rosie,
what is that?
I'm blaming Rosie.
It's a tea maker.
It's the kettle boiling on somebody's end.
Yeah. My cauldron. No.
Something wicked this way comes.
This tension and this suspense building.
It really, yeah.
What is that?
I'm a chaotic evil. Wait, chaotic.
I mean, this has been a tension-filled podcast, hasn't it? We're going so political.
Yeah, we're going all the way.
Yeah, what are you thinking, Bannon?
Yeah.
Because I've been listening to you guys since about 6:30. I was like, damn, I'm out of place here on this episode.
Really?
Well, because it's like with us, being Canadian, I always thought of us as kind of like when you watch Trudeau or when you watch Trump and Biden, it's like we're the supportive parents. We're gonna let the children fight, then we're gonna support you guys. Come back, we'll have some cookies, calm down, something like that.
Who wins in a fight? A fist fight between those two?
Between the two of them, I would say Biden because he looks in better shape than Trump does.
You saw that tweet? You heard that?
Trump's got some body on him though. He holds his weight the right way.
I didn't see the tweet. I didn't see the tweet, but I heard everything.
That tweet said it all.
Granted, I'm non-political though, because at this point it's like I've only had one paying job my whole life. I'll concern myself with that before I go to politics.
There we go.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Hey.
Hi, Zumi.
Hey.
Hello.
How was your cup of tea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
I'm making a joke about your microphone. It sounded like it was tea. Sounded like tea was going off. From the kettle.
Like a teapot when the steam.
You never. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's not now.
I actually have a tea mug here.
See?
Oh, were you making tea earlier?
No, what's inside here is not tea. It's wine there.
Ah, I should have known.
Ooh, mystery brew.
So good.
There we go. You
You
guys have any lightning stories?
Yeah, I don't exactly have a lightning story, but I do have a vehicle story because you did have a guy mentioning motorcycles.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, my dad, for a gift when I turned 16, because I can't drive a normal car, he got me a golf cart. And so everybody that tried to go on with me because they wanted to supervise me while I'm driving, they suffered for getting on the golf cart with me because we had to put like a piece of wood in between the gas pedals so I could manage the throttle. So then every time I drive around our yard, I'm either risking running over our dog who's tied up on the line outside, or risking getting my dad attacked by tree branches. And at one point, my driving is so bad, I got the golf cart stuck on a tree stump.
Oh, wow.
No.
And I didn't even see the tree stump. And my dad's like, "Watch out for the stump, you idiot!" I'm like, "What stump?" Then he had to get out and push it right off. And oh god, that's why I stay away from vehicles.
You're like Tina. Have you seen that one scene from Bob's Burgers?
No, I don't watch that show. Half of what they say doesn't make sense.
There's this one episode where Bob, like the dad, he's got like a teenage daughter, and they went somewhere and they were driving and they found this big empty parking lot, like a mall sized parking lot, and it was completely empty except for one car, like all the way on the other side of the lot. And he's like, "Hey, Tina, you wanna drive? You wanna try driving? With me? Just for the heck of it. We've got a lot of space. Can't go wrong with it." And she was like, It's like, "No, come on, it'll be fun. Don't worry. Like, I trust you. You'll be safe." It's a giant mall-sized empty parking lot. And so they get in the car, and then it's just like an overhead view of the entire parking lot, and you just hear her like groaning, like she has like that like classic like Tina groan, and she's just like and he's like, Tina, you're doing good, okay, going pretty, like they're going like half a mile an hour, and she's like groaning the whole way while she's driving the car, and he's like, "It's all right, it's going good, all right, cool, very good, all right, now you could turn away a little bit. Yeah, you can go ahead and turn the wheel, Tina. Yeah, you can go ahead and turn whenever you're ready, Tina. Just turn the wheel. We're moving very closely towards the only other car in this entire parking lot. Tina, please just turn. Hit the brakes, Tina." And they hit it's so funny. It's like the funniest thing ever.
Are you okay, Grandpa? You seem to be reaching over to your side for quite a lot.
Well, I'm watching a bird that I have to keep an eye on. He's bouncing up and down, so I'm bouncing with him, but I have to try to keep him from flying into my face, basically.
Oh,
but I am listening to you, and
oh, man.
very interesting about your experience with your cart.
Yeah.
No, but it just looked like you were doing a dance or something.
Well, I kind of am.
I'm worried for your. I'm worried for my grandfather's safety at this point. Honestly.
Yeah. In fact, I'm really thinking about going offline right now because I've got to get him to bed. But I'll hang in for a little bit longer.
Yeah, whatever makes you most comfortable, Grandpa.
Yeah.
For real.
Any Azumi? Anything?
Crazy lightning or golf cart stories?
Golf cart? No golf cart stories. Lightning stories? Like that could be physical or mental.
Yeah, you ever had lightning in a bottle? Like, great idea. Or...
Mental? Okay. Yeah.
I never hit by a lightning, so physically, so I can only talk about mentally. Yeah, mentally.
Okay.
But that's not okay. Because I was listening to you guys like 10 minutes, 15 minutes before, but I was like, I couldn't figure out what the episode for tonight. So you're talking about the hospital and.
It's politics.
We were talking about just like politics and like the news and just COVID things. It's really a new. I guess.
Okay.
And have you taken that test for Dungeons and Dragons to see what type of like true neutral or chaotic good or whatever? Do you know what that is?
No, what is that?
It's in our Zoom chat. Go take that quiz. Is it?
If she got here after it doesn't pop up. Yeah.
Oh. Well, you can. It's like Dungeons and Dragons personality test to see what type of person you are.
Bennett, have you taken it?
No, I know what Dungeons and Dragons is. I'm just not really big into online gaming because every time I try to download an online game, it just heats up my computer something crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to take that test.
Homework for the next time, you guys.
Is it like a character test? That's gonna tell you what kind of character you are.
Yeah.
There was like a survey. Animal character testing. That was a huge thing back in Japan, like 10 years ago. Everybody was talking about what kind of animal you are. What kind of animal you are. Everybody was talking about it.
What did you get, Azumi?
I forgot because I wasn't into it. Maybe I was something like a lion or...
It's pretty good.
Tiger or lion or
bear?
Something. No. Bear. But it was like, it's so complicated. Like there's so many questions they ask. So there are like specific types and then there's like hundreds of different animals. There are even like unicorns and all that. So, and also there's like a color. So sometimes you were like a silver unicorn. Sometimes you were like a golden unicorn. Sometimes red unicorn, something like that. So there's like so many different types of.
That sounds intense.
I don't even remember. But there's another thing. This is not a fortune telling, but in Asian countries, we have a tradition of zodiac.
Zodiac signs.
Each year, they have a different types of animals. So my year, the year I was born, everybody is mouse.
Oh, I got pig.
I am the year. Yeah.
Are you? So you guys know that?
Yeah.
Is that what you see on like? I'm sorry. Is that what you see on napkins like in Chinese restaurants where they have like dragon and
there are 12
different animals, a monkey and whatever?
Yeah, monkey, rabbit. I forgot. Monkey, rabbit.
I was like, wow, I could be a dragon. I could be a beautiful bunny, and I got the boar. The year of the boar.
Yeah. My sister, I think my sister is boar, I think.
It's like my least favorite of the animals.
As I've gotten older, at first I was like, oh man, I don't want to be a monkey, but now I'm like, hell yeah.
I think I got monkey too.
It's the smartest of the bunch.
Yeah.
So there's a story behind it. So 12 animals were like in the myth. So mouse, my ear, mouse. is the first one in that line of animals. So there was like a story. It's like, so all those animals wanted to get to they were racing, and they wanted to reach to the god, and then whoever reached the god as the first, they can get the prize or something like that. That's the story. So mouse was the first one, but the mouse is very, very cunning and cheater. So mouse said something bad to cat. I think cat. So cat is not included in the 12 animals because mouse said something lie to cat or something and saying like, oh, we don't do this today, we're doing it tomorrow, so we're gonna race it tomorrow. And then so that's why the cat is not included. So mouse is very, very cunning and cheater. I'm a cheater.
Yeah.
This is based off your birth year, right?
Yeah.
What year were you born, Grandpa?
40.
40. What do you think Grandpa is?
Ox.
How do you feel, Grandpa?
I used to know. I don't remember what I am.
1940.
40, yeah, 1940.
Yeah.
I know I'm a tiger. I was born in 98.
Oh, cool. Grandpa is a dragon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd say the best out of all of the Year of the animals.
Bias.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Azumi, what country are you originally from?
I'm from Japan.
Japan, yeah. Brandon and I spent some time in Japan. We love it.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
2 weeks when I was 17, I think. Yeah.
17.
Yeah. And so Phines and Sierra, you guys are the same even though you were born on different years?
I'm probably wrong. I don't know.
I know where I don't know. I do have two. I do have two things. Let's see. For Benin, I my first encounter with the law was that I stole a golf cart. I lived on a golf course. I lived in a neighborhood that had a golf course like surrounding it, and I was really an accessory. I was with some friends that stole a golf cart, but I got in trouble for like stealing a golf cart. So that's my only golf cart story.
Oh, you naughty boy.
I know. And I'm reading this book about like mythology right now, African origins of myth, and they're talking about like how all the like zebras and giraffes and pythons got marks on them, and it kind of reminds me. It kind of reminds me of the Chinese like stories of the animals. Like they just have all these like. It's just cool to see mythology with animals. I'm a big fan.
Are you doing that on Reading with Phines?
I am doing it on Reading with Phines.
Yeah, shout out real quick to Reading with Phines, a podcast available everywhere, iTunes, Spotify. It's really good. I listen. He does daily episodes, and Phines is great at telling stories. So.
Is it like reading Rainbow?
I just kind of. I wish I had LeVar Burton's voice. Oh my God, I would never be on this podcast again.
Tell us how you really feel. You're Benen's favorite though, so you gotta stick
I'll take
around.
over if he leaves.
There you are.
I'd be down.
Okay, that's great.
Hell, let's start now.
All right, I figured my life out. Okay, so I'm the ox.
The ox.
The ox. I've got 4 stars in work ethic, I'm guessing. I've got 4 stars in health. I've got only 3 stars in wealth. So
I didn't know there's a star system.
Apparently, I don't know. I found some old rat animation. I'll take it.
Well, Benin and Azumi and my friends Phines and Brandon and Sierra, I'm going to have to cut out now because.
Glad to be your friend, Grandpa.
Yeah, well, you're more than just a friend, but you are.
You are to me too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go offline now because I've got to get this bird off of me.
All right.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
Be well, Grandpa.
Good night, everybody.
Be well. Good
Good
night.
night, Grandpa.
I used to have a bird, like not that big, but my bird was like this big. And that was so cute. But the thing is, we have to cut the wings.
Oh.
Did you know we can cut the wings? So I don't know until which part they have the sensation or feeling. But you can cut like like until here, and then they don't feel anything. So it's not harmful.
They still can't fly.
Do they say that or?
No, the my bird didn't cry, so I guess it's fine.
But it can't fly anymore.
Yeah, that's the thing. So
it doesn't run away.
Want the bird, yeah, we didn't want the bird to fly away, so we cut like.
Yeah, it's looking around like, why the fuck was I a bird then?
Yeah,
I got to be a runner bird.
Yeah.
Could have been a turtle, like.
But we did it from the beginning. We since the bird is really a baby bird, so
yeah,
she didn't know she can fly.
Yeah, it was like, man, I'm the fastest walking bird around. Like,
but she could fly over to a piano.
Oh, okay.
So she could fly over to at some height.
She could glide. Yeah, it's like cutting off the cat.
The
claws. Yeah.
Where it happened to the bird?
So the bird lived up to I forgot. Kind of long, more than 10 years. And that's like the longest of the bird. So most of the female bird, the cause of death for the female bird is like the bird generate the eggs, like actual egg, right? In the body. Yeah. So when the female bird gets older, they cannot make the hard shell. The shell, so they lack of the calcium or something, so the shell gets softer, but every month or so they have to get rid of this egg out of their body, otherwise it gets stuck in there, and that's the cause of the death. So when the shell is hard, it can easily come out of the body, but when the bird gets older, the shell gets softer and it's stuck in the body.
Oh, so not like a human.
That's most of the not like a human. Most of the older female birds, cause of death is that softer shell egg.
Yeah, they can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah. But she lived long. She lived a really long time.
What kind of bird was it?
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called.
Okay,
it's a very small one, like
Budgie?
I forgot. The color is like green,
Canary.
yellow.
Okay.
I think so. Green, yellow, and then very beautiful voice.
I think it's
okay. Because my sister used to have birds.
I think I know what you're talking about. Is it not the parrot one, but it's smaller than a parrot.
Parakeet.
Maybe. Oh, is that
parakeet is a little big. Like Grandpa's bird is parakeet.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I forget. Right? He said something real specific. I don't remember what kind, but
it was a bird.
It could be a canary. I think it might be a canary because canaries are big green too.
Canary, maybe canary.
A bird of prey, clearly.
Was your bird aggressive like Grandpa's? Like, he has 4 of them. Everybody thinks it's just Rosie, but he has 3 birds that like fly around all nice, like in paradise and really sweet. And then Rosie, this one on the podcast, he has to lock it in a room for its entire life. Like, she can't leave the room or else she'll attack and kill the other birds.
Well,
or they'll attack and kill her. I don't know which one.
Well, he said, we obviously know which version of it is happening when the birds come.
I think maybe the other birds try and kill her, actually.
Isn't the government like busting the people's houses and searching them? Can't they just do this? Let's let Rosie out and send the government on her.
Yeah.
It'll be done quick.
It'd be hard for someone to sneak in a house if you got Rosie there.
Rosie ain't let nothing go down without her permission.
Hold on, y'all.
I think just imagine though, it like that bird is locked in that one room its entire life, right? Like Rosie doesn't leave that room, so it's kind of, I feel it,
Story of my life.
Yeah.
Rosie's like, I got my own room.
In my bedroom most of the time.
Yeah, I've been doing the same now, honestly. No.
Did any of you guys, because I was on before, did you guys have any unanswered questions? Because I remember, Brandon, you were interested in having me on because of my resume. Like you were impressed with my resume, as I like to call it.
Yeah. No, I in the original backstage message.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's maybe more formal. I just thought you seemed cool based on your profile. Cool. Yeah. But instead of being like, yo, you seem cool, want to be on the podcast, I'm like, I was very impressed with your resume. Would you be interested in joining the show? You know, so
that's great.
Oh, how professional of you.
Yeah.
Azumi, what do you do for a living?
For a living, acting and translation this year. So I've done a lot up until last year, but this year I'm slowing down and because there's only limited things I can do. So this year I only do acting and part-time translation.
From English to Japanese or the other way around?
Mostly English to Japanese.
Oh, cool. I've always wanted to learn the language.
Japanese?
Yeah, I know a few words.
Okay, Azumi, I have a question. So, like a year or two ago, I was trying to learn Japanese on Duolingo.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought it was terrible because, like, just the way that the language is, just the structure of the language is so different to like a Latin language or like English or anything like that I'm familiar with. And it just felt like it was so structured on like that same system of like, okay, well, if you can learn a phrase and then a word, then you'll be set. But like, it's totally not helpful because of like characters and all the different meanings. So like characters can change and all this other stuff. What is the best way to try to learn Japanese?
Go to Japan.
Dang it. Okay. Okay.
Because
the one thing nobody can do right now. Like,
so I know,
fly overseas.
I was an English teacher, so I know how to teach English to non-native English speaker. Like I know the grammars and all that because I grew up learning that language. So I know the structure and the grammar and all that. But Japanese, I don't know how I can speak Japanese. Right? It's like that's my first language. So I don't know. I cannot explain. I don't know how I can explain to that. So there's so many subtle things like, so in English, when you say I, it's always I, right?
Yeah.
There's 10 different ways to say I in Japanese.
Right.
Dang.
It was driving me crazy when I was going through these lessons because I was all proud of myself because the first couple lessons are basically just like colors and counting to 10. And I was like, I got this. Look at me go. Here I am. And then it like, got to telling time or counting. Like if you're just saying a number is different from like counting objects or just telling time. It's totally different. It looks different.
Oh, no.
Like
so
I was
the
you can't say like ichi.
Right.
Yeah, there are like several different ways to say even the numbers.
Yeah, and then you keep getting it wrong. In Duolingo, the stupid owl is looking at you like, "Are you okay?"
Keep trying, you dummy.
What side are you looking on? I don't know any owls that would look at you like that.
Freaking teardrop, like, oh.
Oh.
But
don't give up.
Ben and Sierra, y'all have both practiced like. Well, I hold any conversation right now with Azumi at all?
No, absolutely not. I got really mad.
Let's go.
No.
I think the only thing I could say, and I think she can correct me if I'm saying this wrong, konnichiwa uungi desu ka?
What?
I thought that was hello, how are you today? And I only...
Konnichiwa is fine. Konnichiwa is hello, but after that, it's like that sounds like a Korean.
Now, to be fair, I got that from
so ruthless.
Before that, or just to clarify, I got that from an episode of iCarly, which is the Nickelodeon show, because they did an episode where they went to Japan, and then Spencer is the one that's trying to learn, and I don't know where he got it from, but he bought a shock collar where if he got it right, he doesn't get shocked, but if he gets it wrong, he gets shocked.
It's been a lot of electrocution this episode.
That's hilarious.
Well, it's Grandpa and Chill. It's electrifying.
Yeah,
there we go.
The podcast that's electrifying with no standards.
That's a trailer.
You guys
We're
are these lame jokes. First it was Brandon with the "oh my" in this electrifying one. I'm just a hater of puns. I don't like puns.
No, because I can't do it. Dude, I hate most of my fucking jokes.
Well, then remind me not to pontificate with you.
Yeah. Oh no!
Just cringe. All cringe.
Yeah. But yeah, Japanese is hard. It's real hard.
Yeah. I think so. It's hard. Yeah.
I still want to learn it. I should have gotten. I had all year of staying in my house to get back to it, but I was really mad because like the last lesson that like I was like dealing with the numbers changing and all the changes, and I was like, okay, well things do. I know characters do change sometimes, and I was doing good. I got to one lesson that was like about family. And it wanted you to like translate, like, I have an older sister, I have an older brother. And both of those sentences were like, I couldn't tell, like, they had no similarities. They had no similarities except like 2 things at the beginning and 2 things at the end. And I was like furious. I was like, Duolingo, why are you talking to me like keep like
Duolingo scares me. Like
really?
I hear more from the owl than I do like my sister. Like do it, but like yeah, I don't know. I wanted to be what is it, a polyglot, right?
Yeah.
I really wanted to be a polyglot when I was a kid, and
what the heck is that?
Like just like language. Master of like at least 3 languages. Like,
I thought that was a linguist.
Linguist studies language.
Linguist is a scholar or researcher. Like studying.
Yeah, Benin. So
I thought it was that too. I was
like, so in New Jersey public school system, you just go through like Spanish, but it's like the same textbook for like 9 years.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Oh no.
And
I wasn't allowed to learn Spanish in school.
Did you learn French?
French?
No, like they didn't have the course in school. When I was in high school, all you got was English, French, or Italian.
Yeah.
Trust me, taking it at my New Jersey public school system made me worse at Spanish. So you're not missing much. But like I failed senior year Spanish.
Can you speak some Jersey Spanish?
Do you know
Jersey Spanish?
Yo estudio español en mi computadora, es mi pasión y quiero
you don't sound Jersey. Where's the Jersey?
Yeah.
Where's the Jersey? All right, I can try that. I don't
Kardashians ran away with it.
Jersey. I'm learning Spanish. It's like one of the top 3 things that I want to do this year. But
Phines, do you speak Spanish?
No, I
just attempted to, but I guess apparently not.
She said Phines, not Brandon. She said Phines.
Oh. I misheard. My bad, dude. My bad.
Don't even sound alike.
Finesse.
Oh, what a crazy podcast this is.
Can I tell you? We had to go back to the producer of our jingle 4 different times.
Oh yeah!
Oh wow!
His name 4.
I love the jingle.
He refused to say it right. Like he just wouldn't.
I said finest rhymes with highness with an I and then a Ness. And then he said, Finesse Jackson and Brandon Fox.
I like Finesse better.
Sorry, I'm confused too. What's the right pronunciation? Finesse, Finest?
The finest.
Yeah.
Like the finest things in life.
There you go.
Finest things in life.
Oh, that's a nice name.
Yeah, it's really
Thank you. Same. I like it.
People mispronounce my name all the time.
Benin is kind of hard to say. Like when I first saw it, I thought I didn't.
Yeah,
I got it now, but at first, how do you say your last name?
Benin Dijkstra.
Dijkstra.
Because dike is a word for a little hill.
Yeah.
And my family originates from Holland, so there's a lot of hillside areas. And what happened was once I was in 4th grade, and I needed some help with my spelling. So you take a computer program. And we download it, and the program calls me Benin Dijkstra. And this is a program for a spelling class.
That's funny.
The irony.
No.
Yeah. Well, speaking of just thinking about, do you know any folklore from Japan for Azumi? Do you know any folklore from Holland? Do you know like any story that's like
Holland.
The
thing I only know about Holland is like everybody's super tall.
Well, really? I actually.
How tall are you, Benin?
I'm at least 6'1". I'm giving myself that extra inch for self-confidence.
That's tall
as far as folklore from Holland, as far as I know, what we just passed is St. Nicholas Day. So what happens is for children, if you're good, you put out big what's the shoe? What's the name of the shoe? I think it's a galosh, or like those giant shoes, like the big ones. You put them under your Christmas tree, and if you're good, Saint Nicholas, who, if you read the religious text, will be known like for robbing from the rich, giving to the poor. He'll put a little gift inside your shoe.
Wow! So Saint Nicholas. So Holland Saint Nicholas is like a Robin Hood.
So cool.
Mix, and that fills your shoes up with like. I did hear about this.
Like you just get like a little piece of chocolate. So it's like a little taste of Christmas before Christmas.
Yes.
Wow. Nice.
What about Japan folklore? Do you have any stories that you were told or that you know?
Do you want the scary ones? Not
I want the scary.
Okay, the scary one. This is a super popular thing among the children. So I heard this when I was like 7, and I almost cried. So when you're like, there's a woman. She only appears like evening time, and so when you're coming home from school, like elementary school kid coming home from school alone, you meet this lady, long hair, white dress. And then she asks you, like, am I pretty? Am I pretty? And you have to say yes to that lady. Otherwise, if you say, like, no, or if you give her any other answers, she will run to you. And then if you look at her face, her mouth is, like, all the way up here.
Oh, no. Ooh. So okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
Yeah. So if she asks you like, am I pretty? And then if you say like, no, you're not, and then she will run to you. And then even if you run super, super fast, she will run like the fastest, like Olympic athlete kind of fast runner. So you will never get away from her.
Wow.
So what's the moral? Does she kill you? Like, does she? What does she do when she catches you?
I forgot. Something horrible happens.
What does it teach you as a young kid? What did that make you?
No, it was just so scary.
You better fucking say yes if someone asks if they're pretty.
Yeah,
courteous, or you will suffer for it.
I see.
You have to be polite. You have to be nice to anybody.
Yeah, I get it. If you're not.
So death or kindness.
Yeah. But when you were a kid, like when you were in elementary school, think about it. If you were like 7, 8, 9, 10, you get so scared, right?
Yeah.
Just to hear that, and then so sometimes you go home alone. Sometimes you go home with your friends, or sometimes you go home alone, right? Yeah. That's when you feel like super scared. When you turn the corner, if you see a lady. Long hair.
Oh no! Dress. You're pretty, please. Yeah.
It's so scary. Right?
Yeah, no, I don't. That whole like going the big mouth thing, it scares the crap out of me. I think it's like
There's a famous art piece with like the woman with the big mouth that came out in the last couple of years, and after I saw that, I can't get it out of my head.
Oh, there's another thing. There's so many like scary stories in school. You know, like the famous one is that when you go to the ladies' bathroom in school.
I've heard like this one. Well, go ahead. But yeah, go ahead. I'm finished. I'm sorry. Yeah.
There's like a single rooms, right? And then don't go to the third one. Never go to the third one. Third one. There's somebody in there. It's like
and they ask you about a pill or something. They ask you about a color or something. Is that what the one is? Where they ask you like 2 questions and you have to say, "Is this the same one, or am I wrong? I must be wrong. Never mind."
I don't know. There's so many different versions. So it's like third one. There's always a girl, like a ghost girl in the third one. So you cannot go in there. Something like that.
That's so weird.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, you're back, Barton. We hear you. Can I show one thing? Have you guys seen Momo?
Yeah, heard the name. Don't know what it is.
Which one? Is it by? Oh, this is scary. What is this?
Where'd it go?
It's the power of Zoom.
This.
Oh yeah.
This I can't get it out of my head. Like it's very.
Oh, this is scary.
It's that uncanny valley thing when something kind of looks like a human, but it's not a human. Like something like
something from like
Latin creepypasta, right?
Looks like something from a Tim Burton movie.
It was a
creepypasta. It does look at Tim Burton film.
Or like the movie Coraline is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was thinking. It does look kind of like Coraline,
without the buttons.
Or a Corpse Bride.
For the eyes, yeah.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah.
I've never finished it.
Yeah, sorry guys, I had to just plug in like the charger. My battery was almost dying.
Oh no!
I mean, it's getting so late. We've been running. I can't imagine why, but we were way over time today.
Like all we're missing to make this funner is like booze.
She's got wine.
Grandpa drinks, but I'm thinking of just starting to get drunk on Wednesday nights from now on.
I'm like I'm more of like I just need like a shot of like a Jameson, which is like an Irish whiskey.
Wow, you go hard, Benin. My gosh.
Just a shot, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
Oh, because it's like I've seen what booze does to people, so it's like just for Thanksgiving or something.
Yeah.
Like
if everybody else on here would do it, I would totally make this a drinking podcast.
Well, I mean, I was drinking Pepsi last time I was on, but
I remember that. It's crazy.
Yeah, I posted that on my Facebook page. Like I'm getting ready to go. I got the headphones on, got the drink. We're good to
go. Yeah.
Well, I had a lot of energy last week. I had 2 Sprites.
Wow.
Yeah, Sierra last week.
Well, you looked fairly focused for someone on 2 Sprites.
It was really. I just finished editing it the other day, so when it comes out, it was just really funny.
Is Azumi still on?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your poison when it comes to drinking?
No, I don't drink that much.
Fair enough.
I only drink wine. That's it.
Is it like do you drink like the sake?
Sometimes, but I'm not a big drinker.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, I think the first time, because it still happens to me now. I try to like taste different stuff to experiment. Yeah. I remember asking my dad for a sip of his drink when I was 10, not knowing it was alcoholic. And we're in Florida for the first time, so he ordered a mojito. Or it was something green. Yeah. And then I was like, let me taste it. It looks colorful and it's got whipped cream on it. Oh, the spit take I did in that restaurant. Oh, God.
Oh, no.
Yeah, if I convince Grandpa to open a bottle of wine before next episode, would y'all drink?
Yeah, I'm down.
I wouldn't drink the wine, but I would drink root beer.
All right, that's down.
If any drink, if Phines is in, I'll ask Grandpa.
I'll bring some extra Sprites.
Cool.
None of that diet nonsense.
Oh my God, dude! Uninhibited Phines would be insane.
Depends on what type of wine it is. Red wine makes
holding back from the glint in your eye would be.
No. If you want me to be more mean, dark liquor, not mean, but like more like political like
no. We need to suppress that.
I'm not mean with dark liquor, but I'm definitely more like on my
we need the Cherokee within Phines to come out.
I've never even been remotely drunk before. I'm not even gotten a buzz.
Oh my goodness.
My favorite drunk is, I like beer drunk is fine. Wine drunk is, I like being red wine makes me flush in the face.
I like watching people who are drunk do funny stuff, though. But it's like, I think if I was to just like list my favorite category of drunk, it would be tequila drunk. Just because it's like that's when people get the stupidest, and they're like, "Oh my god, come on, let's go fight." I'm like, let me just watch this tomfoolery.
It's fun to watch, though, right?
I don't know.
I think an audience would think the same if we had an episode. I don't know.
Maybe we'll do like a little something.
Tequila's a monster.
Yeah.
Well, why else would they put a worm in it?
There you go.
That's true.
Are we gonna outro this? We didn't do an intro at all, so
I know.
Grandpa and chill.
Yeah. Do you guys have any last thoughts?
Can I give you one last scary story?
Please.
Yeah.
Just for you guys
that'll
to
be our
bring
outro.
into your bed, so you can have a scary night alone by yourself. Okay.
You're mean.
She says with a smile on her face.
I like to do something. Okay, so there's someone who's living in a small apartment, like one room, one studio room, and one day he found so he put his wallet on his table, and then he realized there's some more money in there. Somebody took it. So he lives there alone. But he has a suspicion, maybe thief coming into my room while I was sleeping or something, or I was away. So he got an idea. Okay, let's put the video camera on there, and then let's just roll it while I was away, and then let's see if somebody's coming into my room from the outside. And just to check if anybody steals my money from my wallet. And then he put the camera on, and then he went out. And after 5 hours or so, he went back home, and then let's check the camera, and then plays it. And then he plays it a fast speed, because that's 5 hours. So he plays it double speed or so, and then he gets to the point when he was coming home, just before he was coming home, there's somebody in his room. And that person was doing something weird in his room. And then he heard the sound that he is coming home. The person who lives in the room coming home. And then the person is hiding in the back door like that.
Yeah.
Hiding there. And he comes home, and then he stops the video and starts playing it. What does that mean?
Stay in the closet.
The person is still there.
Yeah. Always someone there. You know what it makes me think of is when you first came in, you didn't hear the teapot sound that your headphones were making. Now it just makes me even more freaked out about that sound quality. I'm like, oh no.
But just be careful when you come home.
Check all your doors.
Check on your doors and check on your closet and behind, under the bed.
Yeah.
Great. Now I got that in my head. What do you guys think this episode should be called?
I'm getting my bait. Here's my bait.
Shapiro.
Sorry, this is my dog. Hey.
Shapiro. So much.
So wonderful.
He's so cute.
He is cute. All right,
I'm just gonna put this I'm gonna title this episode doesn't matter. Shapiro shows up at the end.
I feel like we should call this episode Terrified Politically or by the Holidays. One way or another, we scared.
Always check your doors, because you don't know if the FBI are a terrible beast.
Yeah. Check your doors.
Check your doors always.
Yeah.
Horror story or real life. So
Make a real horror story.
Yeah.
All right,
for real. The Florida story was scarier than the video one.
Florida is crazy.
Thank you guys for being on. For real. I'm so sorry we went so over. But...
Oh no, this is the most exciting thing I've done all day.
That was fun.
Yeah, it's always fun.
Podcasting with Grandpa Bart and Rosie, always on his shoulder. This is Grandpa and Chill.
Grandpa and Chill is brought to you by your hosts, Brandon Fox, Bart Frank, and Phines Jackson. Our producer is Sierra Doss. You can find episodes old and new on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and more. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch the show, and follow us on Twitter for behind-the-scenes moments you can't get anywhere